The trail into the swamps of death. Henry Heck Thomas is a sheriff in the Indian Territory with a history of bringing men to justice. Heck had been chasing a man accused of murder towards Brimstone County, the infamous Bill Doolin, who had ridden with the Dalton gang. Heck was aware of the recent demise of Brimstone and the subsequent lawlessness, but that was of small concern next to his mission. He'd lost the trail of his quarry soon after entering the territory. Moving on towards the nearest town, he came across a broken-down stagecoach. The driver and guard had been killed, but a nun and an unusual native woman were nursing wounds among the devastation. The sister explained that the coach had been ambushed by a mutant gang, and they had stolen all the valuables the stagecoach had carried. She gave a description of the gang, with one of the members fitting the description of the man whom Heck was seeking. It seemed the ruffian had joined up with a new band of outlaws. Sister Valentina is an Italian nun who was traveling west in order to deliver a holy relic to the San Miguel mission near Brimstone. She had a talent for talking bad people out of doing bad things, and it had worked in so much as she was still alive. It seemed Bill Doolin had no intention of ending his reign of terror. As an advocate for native people she encountered, the sister was accompanied by a native woman with whom she was traveling. They were headed to a place called Jargano. They hoped to set up medical facilities for the local people. Heck Thomas had never heard of the place, but he did offer to accompany the pair to the next town and, if possible, recover the missing relic and get his man. Bulette is a Jargano native who had traveled outside of Jargano into Brimstone in search for help for her people. A fierce combatant, she had fought her way along through a gate and into the American Southwest. She was approached by an odd woman in a full-length dark gown despite the blistering heat, and was able to establish a rudimentary communication with the nun, and the pair found they had common cause. The sister had never heard of the Jargano tribe, but insisted it was her mission to assist the native peoples with medical and perhaps spiritual needs. Bulette felt a warm glow of comfort with the words and gentle manner of her new friend. She pledged to accompany this woman and deliver her relic to the mission in return for her assistance in Jargano. Although the translation lacked the reference to the exact location of Jargano, the sister readily agreed. Potato Creek Johnny is a larger-than-life prospector who claims to anyone who will listen that one day he'll find the largest nugget of gold in history. Ever since he had come of age, he'd been fascinated by the stories of gold and silver, just waiting for someone to dig it up. He gathered his equipment and set out west with his brother in search of their fortune. Tragedy soon followed, however. While in the Indian territories, his brother was killed and Johnny was shot and left to die. The murderer was none other than the infamous Bill Doolin. 3 days of crawling saw Johnny enter town and was taken to a local doctor. The sheriff had visited him the next morning, and he was introduced to Henry Heck Thomas. The two found common cause in apprehending the villain. Johnny was still too weak to help in search of the man, but Heck set out towards Brimstone the next day. Potato Creek Johnny vowed to follow the sheriff to see his brother's killer brought to justice. Within the week, he had boarded the train towards the town of Woods End in order to catch up with the sheriff. As the train unloaded in the town of Woods End, the lawman, the nun, and the Jargano native entered the town. Johnny entered the local hotel to get a room for the night, only to encounter Heck Thomas and his new friends. The quartet gathered in the parlor and discussed their next moves. By the end of the conversation, it was decided that the group would band together for as long as it took to accomplish their goals. With grim determination, they waded into the shadows of Brimstone.